guys, Christian the Haver Card Man coming back at you with another deck profile today, and this time we are going to be going over my GearGiadget deck profile. This is just basically, when you break it down, it's just a rank 4 exceed spam deck that can go into a lot of powerful things. So let's go ahead and get started with this profile today. So starting off with the monsters, we're just going to go with all of our Geargas first, because it's actually kind of a small Gearga engine, I'm not going to lie. They're a good supplement to the deck, but they're probably not like the main core of it, if we're being 100% honest. So we are running 3 Gearga accelerators, because if you control a Gearga monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defensive position, and it's a level 4 monster. And then when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 Gearga monster to your graveyard, except for Gearga accelerator, and add that target to your hand. So it's got some recursion. Most times you're just using it as a rank 4 material. Next up, we have 2 Gearga armor. Once per turn, you can change him to face down defensive position. When he's flipped face up, you can add 1 Gearga monster from your deck to your hand, except for Gearga armor. So if you can open this guy up and somehow be able to get him to flip up, you can search the Gearga accelerator, or even if you just open him in the Gearga accelerator, you have an instant rank 4. So I do like having him just because I can use him to search if the game ends up being a little bit longer. We also have 2 copies of Gearga Anchor, which these all have effects for the most part that can set themselves face down, and then when they're flipped face up, they get effects. So then when Gearga Anchor is flipped face up, you can destroy monsters on the field up to the number of Gearga monsters you currently control. So you can get a few pops off of that. Usually, if you're playing the slower game, once again, then you also have Gearga Attacker, just one of those. This guy is the spell and trap removal, kind of like the Stratos, but once again, when he flips face up, it happens. So that's it actually for the Geargas. It's a pretty small package. You can play a much more control build where you're running stuff like summon limit and all that, just because you're not really summoning too much per turn. It actually really is kind of a slower game kind of deck. You could definitely play on the more grindy match and just use stuff like your Gearga Anchor to be able to pop your opponent's monsters. I went for more of the rank 4 exceed spam deck that just allows me to turbo out a bunch of rank 4s and get into some even bigger ones after ranking them up. So next up, we are running 2 gold gadget and 2 silver gadget, just because these guys both, when they are normal or special summon, can special summon 1 level 4 machine monster from your hand. So they both get you, basically, if you have them and another level 4 in your hand, you have instant access to a rank 4. If you have both of them in your opening hand plus another level 4, you have like a lot of extension, that's for sure. So but then when either of them is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 level 4 gadget monster from your deck, except for their name. But you can only use one of their effects per turn and only once that turn. So most times you're using their normal or special summoning effect, not the destruction effect. But the destruction effect's also good if it goes into your opponent's turn and you just need the extra summon, or whatever. There are times when the second effect is good, but most of the times you're using it for the normal or special summon effect. So then we're also running the normal gadget package. So we have 2 green gadget, 2 red gadget, and 2 yellow gadget. Because if you open any of these guys plus a gold or silver gadget, or both, you can use them to get just, a bunch of summons, keep your hand roughly net neutral, maybe like a -1, but you're definitely keeping your hand filled with materials so you can keep going into rank 4s pretty much every turn. So there's those. We're also running along with those gadgets, we have the Boot Up Corporal Command Dynamo. Apologies to you OCG players, this is a TCG exclusive card, but you can target up to 2 machine gadget monsters you control or in your graveyard with different names, special summon this card from your hand, and then equip those targets to this card, regardless of their type. And then you can only use this effect to Boot Up Corporal Command Dynamo once per turn, gains 1,000 attack for each monster equipped to it by this effect. So you really don't care about the equip part, it's mostly just getting an extra rank or level 4 body on the field. So if you use like one of your gadgets to go into a rank 4 play and you have this guy in your hand, you can use the rank 4 monster to attach the material, send your gadget to the graveyard, use your Boot Up Corporal to use it to special summon himself out and get more extension to more rank 4 plays. And since everything in here except for the gold and silver gadgets are Earth machine monsters, we can play 3 copies of the Heavy Freight Train Derricrane, which just gives us extensions, mostly for link plays, so we can't really use these for any exceed plays, unfortunately. So we have a play set of those, just because it's an extra body on field that we can use for several different things. So that's it for the monsters. Let's go ahead and move on to the spell cards. So right off the bat, we're playing 2 Pot of Desires, just because I do want the draw cards. And we're playing multiples of everything for the most part, so it doesn't really matter too much if we banish something. As long as we can keep our rank 4 engine going, like that's the big thing that we need to worry about. And getting those draw 2, this deck really needs the draw power, so I'm running those in there. We also have 3 Dark Ruler No More, just because we are in the Animancipator Eldritch format, and you need this against Animancipator main decking. So there's a lot of other situations that's really good too. I mean, this deck can really easily OTK, but you know, if you can't get the OTK, it's fine. It's better off to play it safe than sorry. So go along with that, we also have 3 copies of Call of the Grave because we don't want to get hit by hand traps. Ghost Ogres, Effect Veilers, and Ash Blossoms all really hurt this deck hardcore, so we got to keep ourselves protected by throwing in copies of Call of the Grave. Also just good for bonus disruption if you end up needing that. Next up, since this is a going second deck, we are running the 3 copies of Urgent Schedule, and this is probably the biggest reason we need to run the 3 Heavy Freight Train Derek Crane, because we can use the Urgent Schedule to bring him out, plus one of our gadgets from deck, or a GearGiadget monster if that's more preferable. Whatever fits better to our strategy, given the hand that we have. So Urgent Schedule is a really good card for this deck, really gets you started with a lot of your plays. It's an instant platinum gadget, or, you know, like whatever you need to, so it's a good card for sure. Then we're also running 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Pot of Avarice just to shuffle everything back, 1 Double or Nothing, because we do run the Utopia Double package in here. Once again, this is a rank 4 deck, so this shouldn't be surprising to you guys. And then it's just kind of some fun text. We're actually running 2 copies of Rank Up Magic Astral Force, which we never actually use for its own effect. We just use it because it's a Rank Up Magic card. And then we also have Rank Up Magic, the 7th one, which I have actually pulled off once. So far in my testing, I've only played like a few games of this deck, but I have actually pulled it off already. So we'll see. I mean, this is another Rank Up Magic card, so it is a little bonus, but just because of the fact that if you do happen to hard draw it for your draw phase, you can do some fun stuff with it. So that's it for the main deck, actually. Let's go ahead and sneak off to the extra deck here. So we're going to start off with our Link monsters first, because we are only running 5 of them, and it will make sense for our choices in the Exceed section. So we're running 2 Platinum Gadget, because all it requires is 2 Machine Monsters. Unfortunately, it cannot be used as Link material. The turn is Link Summon, which is fine. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 level 4 lower Machine Monster from your hand to your zone this card points to. And then if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 level 4 gadget monster from your deck. You can only use each effect to platinum gadget once per turn. So a free extension gives you another level 4 in the field, just gives you a free special summon pretty much that you can use for other things. It's really easy to just use this guy, especially if you get the Heavy Freight Train Derek Crane on field. Like say if you open up your hand, you open up an Urgent Schedule plus like a green gadget, or just any like the colored gadgets, then you can use your Freight Train Derek Crane and whatever else you special summoned off of Urgent Schedule to go into your Platinum Gadget. You can normal summon your colored gadget and then use your Platinum Gadget to special summon the other one. So you have another colored gadget in your hand and you have rank 4 on the field. So, I mean, there's plays in which it actually is really handy. And then if you also happen to have a boot of Corporal for, you know, if you're that lucky, then you get even further extensions. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of plays in which Platinum Gadget is actually really good. So I'm running it at 2. Next up, we have Cleaford Genius. Good for negating monster effects. There's some cases when if two monsters are special summoned at the same time as zones this card points to, you can get that level 5 higher machine monster from your deck to your hand. I was initially running Cyber Dragon in this deck until I realized he couldn't be used as a target for Urgent Schedule, so I took him out pretty quick and put him in my Heavy Freight Train Derek Crane. So, because I originally wanted to run the Chimera Tech Fleet Dragon in this deck, but it didn't really end up working out the way I wanted it to. So we're just gonna go with this as is. And the next up we have a Borosword Dragon, helps facilitate OTKs because this deck really, really wants to OTK hardcore. So any more means we can get to do that, the better. And lastly for links here, we have 1 Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops, because once again, this is a rank 4 spam deck. So if we're just turboing out a bunch of Exceed monsters, we can easily go into our Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops as kind of a backup plan. It's more of an insurance card than anything, because not every deck nowadays is playing Exceed monsters, so as long as your opponent's not playing Exceed monsters, their monsters' effects can't affect him. So, or destroy him by battle, which it's hard to destroy a 4K body by battle, but there are cases in which it can happen. So that's it for the links. Let's go ahead and move on to the Exceed. So we'll start off with our only rank 1 for the deck, and that is the number S0 Utopic Sexel. The card that me and all of my friends expect to get banned in this next ban list whenever it comes out. Because with the Numeron cards being announced in the OCG, and I'm sure they are going to come to the TCG sometime soon, this card is going to be absolutely broken. With just a 1-card combo, you can pull this guy out turn 1 and be able to stop your opponent from playing for 3 turns. How ridiculous is that? But this deck can bring it out with its alternate effect To exceed summon it by discarding one rank up magic normal spell card, then using a Utopia monster you control as the exceeds material. Really easy to bring this guy out, actually, and if you go with the Utopia double combo, I think you can actually get an extra exceeds material. I'd have to double check the math on that again, that might not be right, but either way, Utopic Zexal is insane. Basically, it just says your opponent can't play for 3 turns, which in that time, it makes it super easy for you to OTK. And this guy is one of 2 reasons that we have the rank up magic spells in here. You'll see the other one here in a little bit towards the end. So with him in mind, next up here we are running 2 number 39 Utopia because we do have a couple of rank up cards for him, and we are also running 1 Utopia double, so it makes sense that we have 2 Utopias because we can use the second one for whatever else. 9 times out of 10 we're going to go straight for that Utopia double and try to get the OTK since this is a go in second deck, and we're just going to want to hit that one card punch. But we are also running 2 GearGiadget X because it just requires 2 level 4 machine monsters and allows us to search whatever we want. And then we also have 1 Silent Honor Arc, number 101, as well as a number C101 Silent Honor Dark, which makes that rank up magic, the 7th one, really viable because then we can bring out our Silent Honor Arc and use him as material for the Silent Honor Dark. So it's just really good. That's all there is to say about it. Or if you want to just bring out the Silent Honor Arc normally, you can do that and steal one of your opponent's special summon monsters as material, so that's good too. Along with the Utopia, we also have the number S39 Utopia the Lightning to rank up on top of our rank 4 Utopia monster, and when we do that, if this card battles, it can basically beat over anything that is 5k or less, and when this card battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effect until the end of the damage step, which is super, super awesome. So, I mean, yeah, this card is just really good, especially if you rank it on top of the Utopia, because then it gains its effect to detach 2 materials from this card to beat over anything 5,000 or less. So, for the last monster in the extra deck, we are running a number 99 Utopic Dragon. Now, normally this guy requires 3 level 10 monsters, but you can also exceed summon him the same way you would as 0 by discarding 1 rank up magic spell card and using a Utopia monster you control as the exceed material. You also transfer materials to this guy. So, once per turn, you can target 1 number monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, but its effects are negated. So, if you get your Utopia in graveyard, you can just special summon it out for free. And it doesn't have its effect anymore, where if it's targeted for an attack, it automatically destroys itself without some material. So that's good too. Or even if you get your Utopia the Lightning in graveyard, because it does just say using a Utopia monster you control as the exceed material, so technically, you could bring out your normal Utopia, go into your Utopia the Lightning to get yourself an extra exceed material, and go into your Utopic Dragon after that. So then if you detach your Utopia the Lightning, you can then special summon that out if you want to. So just keep that in mind, that you can do that to get an extra material if you want, because during either player's turn, when a monster effect is activated that targets this face-up card, you can attach 1 exceed material from this card and negate the activation if you do destroy that card. And this is on a 4,000 attack point body. This thing is insane. It is a big beat stick and a half that can protect itself. It's got the Phantasma effect on it. So I love this card. I really love being able to summon him out, especially turn 1. Like if I am forced to go first, I'll either try to bring this guy or Utopic Zexal out. Utopic Zexal more so for going first, but Utopic Dragon if I go second. Because it is such a big body that can protect itself, I can beat over pretty much anything and just keep it alive for a few turns. So I really love this guy, and he's so much fun to play. So that's all I got for the deck profile today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any thoughts or comments or like anything I should change with this deck, please let me know down below. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. I don't really intend to like play this deck anytime soon for any serious reasons. It's just a really fun janky / rogue style deck, and I think it's a lot of fun, and there's some potential to it. Obviously it needs some tweaking and some more meta relevance to make it a lot more fun, but either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for so much support this early on in the channel. I can't believe how much you guys are killing it with that support, and I love each and every one of you. So thank you guys so much. I hope to see you all in the next video. Remember to have fun and make your move. See you next time.
I'm a love giver.